hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 12 of my best vintage Valentine's Day Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I absolutely love this vibe for Valentine's Day and I hope that you do too. Now I wanted to do something really vintage, Victorian, very old school Valentine's Day, and so I was inspired to first make a tray, and I picked up this beautiful tray from the Dollar Tree. It's got like a mottled gold appearance on there. And so I kind of want to make it like not all just gold though. I kind of want to make it two-tone. And I want to use a lot of red, of course, for Valentine's Day, but I wanted to bring in like a minty greenish blue color. I love mixing that with red, and I thought I could even get away with doing that with these like vintage or Victorian Valentine's Day vibes. So I just tape off the inside of the tray because I wanted to leave that part gold. Now, I didn't quite have the color that I wanted, and so I'm just going to mix colors together. So just remember that if you don't have the quite shade you want, you can always mix colors together. I am mixing like half turquoise and half white together to get that light blue color, and then I'm going to go back and put like a little bit of leafy green in there, and it's going to give me that beautiful mint green color. And so that's looking pretty good. And I think that's going to look real pretty with the gold and the red of these DIYs. So I'm just going to get in there and start painting all of the sides of this, kind of getting in between all of the little like raised beads along the edges, and just paint all over. This tray from the Dollar Tree is just made out of plastic, so it's super easy to paint. But if a little bit of that gold is shining through, like in my brush strokes, I'm good with that because that's just going to make it look distressed, and that's like one less step that I'll have to do. So I'm just making sure I have good coverage all around. And then I go in and give it a quick dry with my heat gun. Now, what happens next was a little unexpected. I have never painted one of these trays before, but let me show you what happens if you use painter's tape. Yep, you guessed it. It pulled off that beautiful gold finish. I was horrified, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to Dollar Tree and buy another tray. And then I'm like, no, not everybody is going to be able to find this beautiful gold tray, so let's go ahead and work with it, and I'll show you how you can use any color tray because we're going to have to kind of start over. We did it really bad there on the top. I was using good painter's tape too, maybe a little too good, maybe it was a little too sticky. But I picked up some of this gold metallic acrylic paint just at Dollar General the other day, and I think we're going to be able to use that to kind of save this tray. So the first thing I tried was just going in with like a chunky brush and that metallic gold and kind of doing like a little mottled painting all the areas that kind of tore that off to see if I could like kind of match what was going on. I could get kind of close, but I really couldn't match it. So I decided to just paint it. So I'm going to do a couple coats on the areas that are black now to kind of make those a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go in and paint the bottom of the tray the gold. So if you're going to paint one of these trays, please be careful with the painter's tape. Let me be your cautionary tale. I was like, oh man, this is my first project out of 10. And it's already a fail, but we're going to make it a win. So I want this tray to look like really ornate, very old school Valentine's Day. So I found a couple of things from the Dollar Tree to decorate it with that's going to give it a lot of detail. So once I got the gold on there, I thought it looked just a little bit too like bright gold. So I thought I'd go in with a little Antique Wax by Waverly and just kind of do like a stipple pattern all over. And then I'm going to go back in with a baby wipe and very carefully, like just kind of distress that to kind of give me that vintage brassy looking finish, similar to how the tray was before. And I like that. I think that turned out pretty good. So now we can start decorating this guy. I wanted to bring out that beautiful detail around the edges, so I'm using that same gold acrylic paint. And then I'm just using a makeup sponge and I'm lightly going over to get the rim of the tray and just the dots sticking up and to make them that metallic gold. It's okay if I get a little bit on the tray, it's going to distress it a little bit, but you could always go in with some baby wipes if you get too much in any area and kind of clean that up a little bit. But what an easy way to bring out all that beautiful detail on this tray. Now, I wanted to decorate it with some of these stickers from the Dollar Tree. These have like great textures, and there's even one that says love. So I thought these were perfect for the kind of vibe that I want to go for with these DIYs today. So they have like 4 corner pieces, and I think that would be great for a tray. We could do like all 4 corner pieces. And then they have a little love piece as well that I'd like to try. But I want them to be like red for Valentine's Day, so I'm just going over them with a brush and some candy apple red acrylic, trying to get these as bright as I can with that acrylic paint. So I just go in and I'm painting all 4 corners. And I really want that bright red to pop. And you know, it's kind of hard to get good coverage on red, so definitely going over with a second coat to try to make that a little bit brighter. Then I also picked up some of these little craft board hearts from the Dollar Tree. I think they have like a really beautiful cutout design on there, and I thought that might look really cute on the tray as well as some of these little wood words from the Dollar Tree. This is the word love. You get 2 in a package, and those all of those actually are from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go in and paint my little heart red as well. I kind of wish I would have painted it white first. I think the red may have been a little bit brighter if I would have done that, but I'm just trying to get it as good and red as I can get it. And then I thought for the word love, I didn't really want to do that in red. I wanted to do that like in a white. So I'm doing ivory acrylic and just using a makeup sponge. We're going to go in there and paint our love word. That's going to kind of make that pop against that gold tray, I think. And these are really cute. I love these words, and I love the fact they're already cut out. I got some like Cricut wood to use with my Cricut to cut wood, and I'm kind of scared to do it on my Cricut because I just feel like it's gonna break it. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever used your Cricut to cut like the balsa or the little craft wood that they sell. Like I got the Cricut kind, but I'm still scared. So I'm gonna take those little red corners that we painted red. If I got too much paint, I'm just trying to clean that up before I put it down. And you can kind of clean that up a little bit. And one of those little ornate corners in all 4 corners of our tray. And I think it's really making this Dollar Tree tray look way fancier and way more high end. Then I decided I wanted a second heart. I didn't want it to be kind of asymmetrical. So I'm going to go in and use another one of those craft boards. And then I also want to use this little piece that says love. Now, it was a little tricky to paint because when I painted it, I was trying not to get paint on the love word in the middle, so I kept kind of wiping that off. But I soon discovered that those are separate pieces, so you can definitely pop the love out first before you paint it, which would make it a lot easier. I've never DIY'd with these before. So I'm going to go ahead and attach our little hearts, one on each side of the tray, kind of in between the brackets there. I just want a lot of detail and a lot of like decor and bling on these projects today. I really did a different decorating style than I've probably ever done before, but I am totally loving it for Valentine's Day. I think it's appropriate. And see what I mean? You can totally take that off and paint it separately. But I attached a love word to the tray, and then I'm going to use that little sticker for the O just to give it a little bit more interest, and popping the love sticker in there as well. Now, all of those stickers were really sticky, and I think that they'll be able to stay on pretty well. I also wanted to bring out that great detail in those stickers on the corner. So using the same technique I used on the tray, I'm just using a makeup sponge and that gold metallic paint. I'm just distressing it just to bring out that detail and give it some shine. And it's looking pretty good. I love it, but I wanted to add more bling. So I got some of these little red dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. These are kind of the shiny red ones. And we are going to attach these. I kind of wanted to do a row on the inside tray, kind of like there's a row on the outside. Just connecting those corner brackets just to give a little bit more detail. It's kind of pretty without it, but I love it with it. So these things are great because they're like on a string of glue. They're super sticky. They usually stay stuck to most things I have found. But if they don't, you can always glue them down if you need to. But so far, so good on this tray with those staying in place. And isn't this looking really cool? I can't believe that this is nowhere near the DIYs I did last year. I did like the nautical Valentine's Day. This is a totally different direction, but I'm digging it. So this is how our beautiful love tray turned out for Valentine's Day. I'm just going to display it with a Dollar Tree plate display. And I kind of bent it to kind of make the tray stand more upright. And this is how this beauty turned out. And I loved it, and it really inspired me for the other 9 DIYs that we're going to do today. And I hope you love it too. Okay, so the next DIY, we're going to use one of these wood conversation hearts, some glass stickers, and some heart stickers from the Dollar Tree. So I kind of got the green one because I thought we could just go ahead and decorate the back. It's just going to make it easier. And so I'm just going to use heat and a little Goo Gone to get all that sticker off the back. But I'm going to go ahead and leave the sides that beautiful green color because it kind of matches what we're going for today. So I wanted this heart to be gold though. I didn't want it to be red. I wanted it to be metallic gold. So I'm going over the back of it with that gold metallic paint. I didn't have any metallic paints and I love that. I just picked this up at Dollar General the other day and it was just a couple of dollars and it is really a great metallic paint. It is really shiny. So I just paint the front. Now I'm kind of distress the sides with a little bit of ivory and then using a baby wipe to just kind of distress that because the green was a little bold and I just kind of wanted it to look a little bit more antiqued around the edges. Now, this is a glass sticker from the Crafter Square from Dollar Tree, and I want the heart on there that says love. I think that's really pretty. And you can use these things on all different kinds of things. They're just stickers. It doesn't have to be glass. I love DIYing with these. I think they're so pretty. So it's just like a regular sticker. All you got to do is peel and stick. And so that's what I do. I try to put it here in the center of the heart. And then all I need to do is bling this heart out because I want it to look fancy. Now I did want to kind of seal that a little bit, so I do go over the top of it with just a little glossy Mod Podge, kind of bring out some shine. And seal it on there a little bit. So that's where our little bling heart looks like so far. And I'm going to display this heart next to the tray that we just made, so I kind of wanted another little accent piece. Now for bling, I thought these little red, they're like gemstone stickers in the shape of a heart from the Dollar Tree would be just perfect. And these are individual little stickers, so you can just peel and stick. The only challenging part about using these was you have to be really careful when you're pulling them off the mat because a lot of times the adhesive stays on it. I was trying to figure out the trick to it. I think it's just kind of how you peel it off. But we're just going to go ahead and line the entire heart with these pretty hearts. I love them. They're so shiny. They look like little gemstones. And I'm just doing one side at a time just to try to keep it like as symmetric as I can and my spacing good, and outline the entire heart with those. So we've got our gold, we've got our red, we've got our turquoise, we've got a little bit of white there, but I wanted more bling. So I got some more of these dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. These are the little white ones, and they kind of remind me of like little tiny pearls. I think they're so pretty. So I thought we could bling this out a little bit with that. So I'm just going to go on the inside of the heart that we just did with the heart gemstones. These are great because you can go around like curved surfaces like that just by where you push down on them, and you get that perfect like curved shape. And then I can just start where I left off, and it can even go like around tricky corners like that. Now, when I got it on there, I noticed that this was not centered great, but luckily it was a sticker. So I was able to peel and stick, but I wouldn't do that too much. It might fall off on you. And so I just finish off my heart there, and I think that's probably as much bling as I can fit on this heart, but I love it because that metallic gold is like super shiny, and it's got like all of those red gemstones, and I think it looks very ornate and beautiful for Valentine's Day. And this is the final result. I love that little sticker with a little bird and the word love. I think it's so pretty. And I just loving all the gemstones on there. So cute. Okay, the next DIY, I'm going to use this vase I just picked up at the Dollar Tree. It's a glass vase. It's got like just like a line texture on it, which is kind of simple, but I think we're going to be able to make it work for this DIY. And I kind of want to make like a heart tree. I kind of wanted to do a branch, but I didn't really have any kind of branch that I could use for this. And so I'm going to use some of that white glitter like coral that you see there from the Dollar Tree. I think I have that left over from summer, but I think they carry it a lot. And I mix up that same like mint green color using my turquoise green and white. And I'm just going to go in with a brush and paint all over. This has got like the ridges in between each line, so you kind of have to get in there. But I kind of wanted to paint this on the outside of the vase to kind of make it look more like pottery and less like glass. So just pop it on my finger and paint all over, including the bottom, just to give it a finished appearance. And then I'm going to go in and also paint the rim around the top. I thought about going and like dipping the bottom of it, making it look like it was dipped in gold. That would be really pretty too, but I chose not to. Now, these are the jewel border stickers. They're gold, and I thought these look like a lot of bling. One thing I learned with working with these today is that the glue on these is not as sticky as the glue on those other stickers, the little dot stickers that we've been using. And I did have to go back and hot glue these on most projects that I used, including this one, because it was starting to come off a little bit, but I just went around the lip of the vase like that to give it a little bit of decor. I do go back and add a little bit more to that. And then I'm going to use just sand. I wanted something that could hold my plant up, but it was small enough to go in the hole. So I'm using a little Dollar Tree funnel and some Dollar Tree white sand. Doesn't matter what color you use because you're not going to be able to see it. And this is that glitter coral. Kind of looks like it's from 4th of July. And I thought it kind of looked like branches. And I think it's going to be pretty for this because the colors are like just perfect. We can have like the mint green vase. We can have the white tree. And then I'm going to use those little red glitter stickers from the Dollar Tree to make like little leaves all over our little faux tree. Now these come in like small, medium, and large. I'm going to start with the small ones, and I'm just going to put them back to back, like sandwiching the plant in between. That way it's kind of pretty from both directions, and it's going to help it stay on there as well. And so I just kind of randomly just start placing these all over different heights, different locations on each branch, and then putting the one on the back to secure it. Because I just want it to look like, you know, kind of like a heart tree. I thought that would be really pretty. And I love these sparkly hearts. I think they look so festive for Valentine's Day. My Valentine's Day coffee bar is doing, my video is doing really well with the love letters. A lot of you guys know I premiered that video last Monday when YouTube went down, and they all my views were gone, and it took like 2 or 3 days, but I finally got all my views back, thank goodness, because I worked really hard on that video. So I got a lot of hearts on there. I'm just kind of putting it in the vase, kind of like arranging it how I want it to look to see if I need any more hearts. And then I'm just going to add more. And I kind of switch size. These are the medium size hearts now, but it's okay. I'm just using like small, medium ones all over. You could also use like the little glitter heart vase fillers. But you would definitely have to have a branch, something a little bit sturdier than this little glitter coral. But this is how it's looking. And then I thought it just needs a little bit more bling because we're doing bling today, right? So I'm going to use those same little gemstone heart stickers that we were using before. And just underneath the little gold, I'm going to do just a row of these little hearts. It's going to bring a little bit more color into that vase. I thought about like decorating it even more, like a further down, but with the shape of the vase, I thought it was going to be really kind of hard to pull it off. And so we're just going to do 2 rows of bling here. And I think that's going to do the trick. And what I'm making these DIYs for is I have a cabinet in between my living room and my dining room area in my house where I like to display seasonal decor for whatever season it is. I love it. You know, I go by the motto that life is short. You should celebrate everything. So we celebrate everything around here. And I always like to keep this really updated, and I wanted to fill the whole cabinet. So this is on the top shelf of it. And I really think it's going to fill in nicely with its height. And I think it looks really good with our color scheme, and it's got a little bit of sparkle and bling. Okay, are you ready for another Valentine's Day DIY? We're going to use these materials. I wanted to make a fake like candy heart box, like the box of candy that you would get for Valentine's Day. I thought we could DIY one for decor. So we're going to start with 2 wood hearts, just the same size, because I want it to look like a box. So it's going to need a top and a bottom of the candy box. And so to do that, I need a little bit of a spacer in between. So I'm going to use some of these little wood blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use hot glue to attach those. And I'm just going to kind of scatter these out around the heart, just gluing to one side, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1 on each side, and even some here in the middle. And then put hot glue on each one of those and stick the next heart on there. And it's going to give me this shape that's kind of similar to a little candy box full of hearts, because I really want these DIYs to be like, to remind me of when I was younger, but even going further back with kind of a Victorian vibe. But the candy box really kind of reminds me of classic Valentine's Day. So I want to cover it in fabric. Now, this is just some red fabric that I got at the Dollar Tree. It is super wrinkly, so let's go ahead and iron that first, because I want it to be smooth on our little faux candy heart box. So I'm just going in there with my Easy Press and getting rid of all those wrinkles first. And this piece was definitely large enough to cover the box. I'm not really going to be able to cover the back with the red, but I'll show you how I finish it off and make it look more finished. So after we got that iron, we can start attaching that to our little candy heart. Now, it's kind of a tricky shape to cover with fabric, but I'll take you through the steps here and show you exactly how I did it. So the first step is I'm going to put probably like a medium layer of Mod Podge all over this heart. I usually do really thin layers when I'm working with like a fine paper, but this is, you know, a fabric. So I'm going to need enough of it to stick through, but I don't want too much that it's really going to soak through the fabric. So I get a good coat on there, and then I'm going to smooth that out. And even with just a medium coat, you can see a little bit did come through, but that's okay. And glue that to the front of our heart. Now I want to wrap it around, so I want it to be on the sides as well to fill in the void between the front and the back. And so I'm just going to use hot glue and gather it like that, and hot glue it to the back of our heart, starting with like the easiest parts first, the bottom and the sides. So I don't want like excess fabric either, so I'm going to kind of cut that down a little bit right there so that I can get it a little bit tighter, and then hot glue this side on as well. And I will get rid of all this excess fabric once I get it all glued on and secured. Now, working around like the top parts, I'm just kind of gathering it and folding it as need be. And I'm going to do like one section here at a time, just pulling it together and as tight as I can, and then gluing that down with hot glue. Now this part's a little trickier, so I'm going to kind of cut that down in between the middle part of the heart as far as I can go there, so that I can pull that fabric tight. And this DIY was so fun to put together. It turned out really cute. Very classic Valentine's Day. So we're going to do the same thing here on the other side, working my way to the center. Now the only problem with this is that there was like a small part there you see at the top that wasn't covered really well, but I am going to try to patch that a little bit. But first I'm just going to cut off all the excess fabric now that I have it all glued down. Just gluing that part where it was a little loose and trimming this side as well. So I'm just going to use some of that fabric I just cut off, and I'm just going to cut like a little triangle piece to try to fill that in a little bit. It's not going to be real noticeable, but I did not want like a void there in the fabric. So just kind of patch that on there a little bit, and that seemed to work. Now I don't want to leave the back looking like this because it looks like a hot mess, and so I'm just going to use some material. This is a fabric tote bag from the Dollar Tree. It can be whatever you got, but I thought this would be just a plain material that I can use to cover the back, just to make it look more like a finished product. I hate leaving the backs all crazy on these things. But this fabric is really cool. As you can see, it's a little bit sheer. Wondering what else I can make with these. You know, I'm always buying the bags and stuff at Dollar Tree because I love the fabric. I'm going to kind of sketch out, just with a marker, exactly how big I need this little heart patch to be. I want it to go over all the areas that I just glued down to the back, and just kind of finish it off. Doesn't have to look perfect, but it's going to look better than it does right now. So I got that piece cut out, and now I can just glue that on and see how it's just going to kind of finish that off a little bit and make that look a little bit better. And you know, you could do that with another wood heart if you had a third one that you weren't going to use for something else. But fabric is totally going to work. So I just glue all around all the edges, and now we have a finished box. Back to our candy box, and it's looking a little bit better back there. Now I want to decorate the front of our candy box. Now, at first I was thinking I wanted doilies and things that would look traditional, like on a decorated candy heart. But the only doilies I had were these round doilies from the Dollar Tree. And so I thought the smaller size would work. But you know what? After I made this DIY, I was at Dollar Tree today and I found that they have these doilies in white in a heart shape that would be perfect for this. So if you're going to recreate this DIY, you could even do it with a heart-shaped doily. It's going to make it look even cuter, but we're going to make it work with what we have. And my stash is huge, so I need to craft with what I've got. And so I'm just using a thin layer of Mod Podge on the back of that doily and kind of centering that on our heart. Now, once I get it on there and glued, I can see that you can kind of see a little bit through the paper doily. So I thought I would just double that up with one more. I don't want any of that red showing through that like thin white fabric. And this also kind of gave me like a faux ruffle by having like the 2 layers of the doily, because I'm only gluing like the center parts down. I'm letting like all the ruffled edges of the doily kind of stand up. And I really like that effect. It kind of made it look, you know, more 3D, more like ruffles, which I was not going to attempt to try to make. Now, my original idea was to use this little love sign that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's brass and it's beautiful, but I thought it was going to kind of smash down those doilies and kind of take away some of their charm. So I actually decided not to use that sign. But I want to add bling. So these are those little gold like flower jewel border stickers that we used before. And I'm going to go around all the edge of the heart and just outline those with the stickers. Now, I told you that these do not stick as well as the dots, and this was definitely where it happened. Once I made this, the next day I came in and like a lot of these were trying to come up, so I do go back and hot glue these on to make sure they stay in put, but they are really beautiful. So just like the dots, you can kind of pull on the string of glue and kind of start and stop them wherever you need to. But I think that added just the perfect amount of bling to our sign. And at this point, I was like, gonna try to use this. And then I just decided I didn't really like it. I love the little love sign. I'm gonna have to find another way to use that. But I do want my little candy box to stand up. So I'm gonna use one of these giant Jenga blocks from Five Below, and we're just gonna glue that on the back. So it's gonna kind of like sit to one side there and stand it up. Now I did find a great replacement. These are from the Dollar Tree as well. These little heart decors, they come on little wire hangers. And I thought this one that says "You Are So Loved" with the gold glitter was perfect. It matches our colors perfect. It's the perfect size. So I just took it off the wire and I'm just gonna hot glue that onto our doily. And I do get that heart shape that I was looking for there. But this would be super cute with the heart-shaped doily. So if you recreate this with a heart-shaped doily, or if not, be sure to show me. I want to see it. Now to fill the little hole in that ornament, I just take one of those flower stickers that we used all around the edges and just used that. I think the glitter on there is perfect. The colors are perfect. I'm so glad I thought to use that. Now, this is the next day. As you can see, your Florida girl has sleeves on because it is in the 30s. I don't know what's going on down here, but you can see how it kind of lifted off all around the edges. And I was like, oh, that's totally not going to work. So I do go in here and kind of peel it up and glue it back down with hot glue, trying not to cause any damage. And pretty much all of it's going to have to be hot glued. I don't know what I was thinking. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to stick to the fabric that well, but it really didn't stick to the fabric very well. But that's okay. We solved the issue and we have our little candy box again. I think this is like so whimsical and fun, and it looks great in my cabinet for Valentine's Day, and it's pretty large too. I'm going to sit this on my top shelf next to that little heart tree that we just made, kind of on my biggest shelf. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about my Facebook group. I always post a link below. I would love to see you over on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Crafty Beach on YouTube. And I'm pretty active on all of those. I'd love to see you over there. Now we're halfway through our Valentine's Day DIYs. Now I wanted to use one of these great wall tiles, a Happy Valentine's Day sign, and we're going to thrift a sign. So I actually got this half price at Goodwill for 50 cents. You know, I love a good thrift sign. You can get these heavy wood signs like this. It's going to be better quality than what you're probably going to be able to find at the Dollar Tree. So Just gonna clean this little tray up a little bit. I want to make a Happy Valentine's Day sign, but I want it to be gorgeous and ornate like all of the Valentine's Day DIYs we're doing today with these colors that I picked out for my Victorian Valentine's Day. So we're gonna mix up some more of that mint green paint. And I wanted to cover the front of it with one of these wall tiles. I love these from the Dollar Tree. The texture on there is just amazing. The only problem is it's a little shorter than my sign, but you know what? I said I think we can probably make this work, and it worked out perfectly. So if your sign that you're using is not the right size, you can totally work with it. I'm just gonna line up one end and just use a Sharpie on the back so I know where to cut. And I'm gonna cut this kind of in half. Now this is a self-adhesive tile, but when you cut it like that, it's hollow inside, so it's not gonna be stuck together. So I like to just go ahead and peel the whole thing off and just have like the textured tile. And then I thought we could just attach that to the front of this sign. It's going to cover up kind of all the words and everything that was on there before. And this is going to give us a beautiful background for this Valentine's Day sign. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, you know, this is made out of plastic. I wonder if hot glue melts plastic signs. So I hot glue it on, which works well. But then as I'm smoothing it out, as you can see, there's like little areas where I put the hot glue. Yes, it does kind of melt it. Do you see that? You can kind of see the lines through there. So you might want to be careful if you're using hot glue. I do use this on another DIY today, and I changed up my glue because of that. But this is going to kind of be a background sign, so I thought we could probably get away with it. I'm going to leave the sides exposed like that. I just kind of centered it. And so I can just do 2 borders along the signs later and kind of fill in some texture over there. So we've got this beautiful mint green paint, and that's what I want this sign to be. I want it to be this beautiful mint green background. And so this is like a boxy wood sign. So I'm just going to quickly go over all 4 sides and paint them that beautiful like mint green color, and then we're going to go over the front of the sign as well. I kind of started with like a foam brush, but I found that I was having trouble getting in between all the little grooves and everything in this beautiful pattern, so I do switch it up to a brush to really get in there. I want as much coverage as I can. I don't really want any of that gray shining through. And then I went in and gave it a good dry with my heat gun. And look how pretty it's looking already. I'm loving this texture. So I want to bring it out. So I'm going to use that metallic gold acrylic paint that we got at Dollar General and a makeup sponge. And I'm just dragging it lightly over the top to try to bring out that beautiful design, that beautiful texture on there. Kind of similar to what we did on the tray. So I'm just dragging it all over. You can see the beautiful like flower pattern like appear there. And any part that's raised, I'm trying to get a little in there. Now, it's kind of hard not to get it all over the background, and it's okay if you do, but if you get a little too much, you can carefully go over it with a baby wipe, but be careful because you might take the paint off. So I go over it once, and then I'm just going over it a second time just to try to bring out any details that I can. And I love how this made this look. It looks like so like old and just gorgeous. Just a beautiful texture on there. And then I thought I might as well distress the sides, so I just kind of dragged the gold on the sides as well, just kind of distressing, following that up with a baby wipe, just to kind of make it all kind of the same colors. And look at that background. Isn't that beautiful? Can you tell that's a 50-cent sign from Goodwill? And it's the perfect size for one of these little wood Happy Valentine's Day signs from Dollar Tree. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut the hanger off of this because we're not going to need that. And we can start decorating this. I'm going to have lots of bling, lots of beauty in this DIY as well. I'm going to fill in the holes the hangers were with a little bit of spackle to get us started, just so I don't have to worry about that later on. Now, this says Happy Valentine's Day. It's got like some wooden hearts on it. Some stand up and some don't. But what I'm going to do is just go in and paint the whole thing ivory. And then we'll go back and add red hearts later to bring that out. I thought, again, I kind of wanted like the white words. I thought that was really going to pop out well on the blue. That way we can make all of the hearts like bright red because I love red hearts for Valentine's Day. So I'm just using, I started out using a makeup sponge, but I was like, oh, this sign is too large. I had to like kind of switch it up here to a foam brush. Just going all over the sign, trying to get all of the heart areas as well. And make this beautiful ivory color. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to leave it just like this. You know your girl's going to add some bling because we're doing bling for Valentine's Day this year. I warned you guys I was going to do bling for Valentine's Day. And so then I was like, instead of painting the hearts, I could use some of these little wood heart stickers from the Dollar Tree because that way they're going to give me these beautiful pops of red. And I don't have to worry about painting it and getting it on my sign and stuff like that. So I thought that would be the easiest fix. And these little red ones were the perfect size. So I'm just going to attach these little wooden red hearts everywhere on the sign that's got like a heart that size. There's one there, one here, and a few more as well. The only one that is a different size is that bigger heart there to the right of happy. And I actually found a wood heart that was larger that would cover that as well. I love DIYing with these for Valentine's Day every year. These little wood hearts, they're perfect and they're already painted red. So how easy is that? So I'm just going to glue that one on there as well. And we have our little happy Valentine's Day sign. It's really cute. And we can add this to that beautiful background. Doesn't that look really cool together? I think yeah, this might be my favorite DIY today. I thought it was the tray, but I'm kind of partial to this. I really like it. So I'm just going to put hot glue kind of in strategic places. Don't really want any to bleed out, but I want this sign to be glued flat to this background. And since I'm gluing to kind of such a bumpy surface, I want to make sure that I really push that down well and our glue can adhere. I don't care if it melts it at this point because underneath of it, you wouldn't be able to see it underneath the sign. And then I thought, you know, on the two edges where we didn't have the tile, we could use some of this gold flowery border like we used before. And I'm going to go down each side of that. But at this point, I had learned my lesson that it probably wasn't going to stick on its own. So just a bead of hot glue first. And I think I'm kind of glad that, you know, it wasn't big enough to go side to side on the sign because I love this detail this adds. So I first measure, tear off the excess pieces, and then just hot glue this down over here. Isn't it looking cute? I love it, and I almost left it like this, but then I thought bling. It just needs more bling, right? So we're going to use some more of those little shiny red dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. And I thought we could make all of these red hearts, like kind of textured, just by outlining those in that red dot pattern, just in a simple heart shape. Just super easy, just push one down. Now, these are a lot stickier than those other stickers, and I haven't had any problems with these coming up. But if you do, and you like have painted your surface or something, you might need to add a little bit more glue, but so far so good on these. And I'm just doing the same thing on all 5 of our red hearts, just outlining them in the dots. It's going to provide a little bit more texture for the sign and definitely a little bit more bling. Then I thought one of the little red heart gemstones would be really cute for the eye in Valentine's Day. Again, they're a little tricky to peel off. I'm trying my best there. And then I'm just going to glue that one down in the heart just for a little bit more red shine. And then I thought, you know, more bling. So I'm going to use the little white dots too, the ones that kind of remind me of pearls. And I thought the N and the T on Valentine's Day are super like swirly and pretty. So I thought we could add a little bling to those as well. So I'm going to go up like the tail here of our N. So easy to start and stop with those. And then I'm also going to do this beautiful like T. You really could bling it out and do all the letters, but I'm going to restrict myself to 2, right? And I just think it turned out so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the letters. So I'm going to do the inside part of the T and the inner parts of the N. And I think that's finally maybe enough bling for this DIY. It just turned out so lovely. I could not be happier with this DIY. Look how pretty it is. I love the antique like tin look of those little tiles and then all of the bling and decor that we added to it for Valentine's Day. I think it's perfect. And here is how it looks in my house. You can really see like that gold detail and all those beautiful colors, how they work so well together. It looks different with not quite as much lighting as well, too. Okay, next DIY is going to be pretty simple. We're going to use one of these long red candles. They always have these at the Dollar Tree, and then I thought we could bling it out a little bit. So we're going to use some of this metal ribbon. They have this in like a couple different like styles. I think it's really pretty. I sometimes struggle with how to use it, but I have used it on like a jar before, and I really kind of liked the results. So I thought I would measure out a piece of this. It's pretty thick to cut through. I'm using my floral scissors from the Dollar Tree, but you'll definitely have to use some heavy-duty scissors to cut through this. You're going to want to cut it a little longer than you need because I find that it glues to itself better than it glues to glass. So I decided I want to line like the top and the bottom of this red candle. And this is actually the same red candle that we used in the gingerbread coffee bar DIY. I just peeled off the decal and the ribbon on there, and we're going to reuse it. But I don't want it to be the silver metal. I want it to be that gold bling we're using. And I wasn't sure how well this would paint, but I'm using that gold metallic paint, and I'm just doing very thin coats and then drying in between. And it actually painted really well. I'm going to make sure I don't go like bending back and forth a lot because I want the paint to stay on there. But it took, I think, a good 3 coats here. Just using a baby sponge with that gold metallic. Just because I want to add some bling to this candle. I kind of want to pair this with that little heart tree that we made before to finish off the top of my cabinet. So I just attached it with hot glue to the glass and then coming around and then kind of hot gluing it to itself here at the bottom. Now you have to hold it on there for a while because it is kind of tricky to get it to dry. And then we're going to do the same thing up here on the top part of the candle. The great thing about using the metal ribbon like this is that it is not, you can light the candle and you're not going to have any problems with anything being flammable. So that's really cool. So it's totally blinged out on the top and the bottom of our candle. And then I thought it needed a little bit more bling. So we're going to use some of those little dot stickers. I thought the ones that look like pearls, the white ones, trying my best to do a straight line. And I want to wrap that all the way around the candle, sticking that on. So far, those have stuck pretty good to the glass. And then another one down here to kind of do a different row. And we're going to go all the way around the candle and just bling this candle out. I love decorating with these candles for every season because Dollar Tree always has these in so many different colors. And, we use decals for the gingerbread. Now I'm adding some of these stickers. And it's really going to go with like that Victorian classic Valentine's Day vibe we got going on today. And we're going to finish it off with one of those little glitter heart foam stickers in the large size right here in the middle in the front of our candle. And this DIY could not be any easier. And I think it really looks like $1,000,000. This really reminded me of something that you would see while you were touring a castle or something very vintage. And this is how it turned out. our little Valentine's Day candle. This one was the easy one for you because I've had some hard ones for you. Try to mix it up a little bit with these 10 DIYs. Now, the next DIY, we're using this expensive piece of trash. It is a Dinty Moore can. And you know what? I cannot remember the last time I crafted with a can, but I wanted a little vase, and I thought, you know, in olden days, they used to decorate with 10 cans all the time, so let's go for it. I think this could be fun. So kind of wanted a shorter can, so my son loves Dinty Moore beef stew, so I'm using one of his cans. I just cleaned it out really good, took the label off, not even worrying about the paper on there. I think it's going to be fine. And we're using that same gold acrylic paint that we used on our DIYs today. I did do a thin coat the first time, and then I'm just going to go in there after I dry it and do a second coat. And it made this can look very much like brass, very pretty, very vintage looking. And I thought this would be the perfect little vase for some red flowers. And I'm going to use those red mums that you see there. Those were the only red flowers that I had. And I am really trying to go through my flower stash because it is out of control. Because I always think I need flowers. Now, I found this great free printable, and I will post a link to all these below. If I can't share the actual website, I will put it in our Facebook group as a file. But I just printed this out just on regular paper. It's a beautiful, Victorian old Valentine scene. And it was a little tricky to cut out, just kind of randomly go around the flowers. But I did my best to cut out the little heart. And then we're just going to decorate the front of our little can. Kind of reminds me of a coffee can with that beautiful little Valentine image. So could not be any easier. We got some trash to treasure today, and I had a lot of fun actually DIYing with an old can. So I do a thin layer of Mod Podge on the front here, large enough for our little heart, and we're just going to stick that on there. I kind of want it to pick up that texture of the can and kind of get in there like it's like a real label. So I'm going to smooth that out to Mod Podge that on, kind of cleaning up the can while I'm at it. Super cute. I love this design, and the colors are perfect. So once I get that dry, I do go over it with another thin coat of Mod Podge to seal that on. I don't want that going anywhere, and I am using the glossy Mod Podge just because I'm going for everything is going to be glitz, shiny, all that good stuff today for our glamorous vintage Valentine's Day. So this is how our little can is looking. It did pick up the texture of the can a little bit, and I've got it on there pretty good and tight. And I think that's going to be a really cute front for this little vase. So it's almost kind of the size of a big peanut container almost, this Dinty Moore can. And I'm just going to use some floral foam from the Dollar Tree. Just cut the corners off so it will fit down in there. And then these are red mums. Looks like I have these left over from 4th of July. You can use whatever you've got. Mums is not traditionally what you think of as a Valentine's Day flower, but I thought it might add to the funness of all these projects today, the vintage and everything like that. And I just used the word funness. I don't think that's a word, Julie. And I'm just going to use my floral scissors and cut these down kind of short because this is going to be a short, squatty little planter. And we're going to use all these red mums, filling up our little tin can. It's looking pretty cute. It does have the little Valentine on the front, but I thought we could add maybe a little bit more to it with a little bit more decor in the pot. I like the mums, but I thought some of these little red glitter hearts, these are a vase filler from the Dollar Tree. I think they have these on picks, but I couldn't find any. So we're going to make little picks just using some of these skewers. So they are a little too long though, so I just kind of break them off and then stick them down into the tip of our little foam heart. And then we have some little heart picks, but you could totally use the ones that are already put together. But we're going to make do. When you're putting them in the heart, just be really careful that you don't go all the way through the foam heart. Once you start pushing on it, it's kind of easy to go all the way through it. And I thought 3 would be really cute, just kind of sticking out of the flowers. Another little touch of Valentine's Day to this little DIY. And this was so easy to put together. I think it turned out so vintage, so fun. And here is how it looks. Isn't that image beautiful? It says, "To my sweetheart," with some little cherubs like hugging each other. And there's another DIY coming up that's going to coordinate well with that. So I wanted to make some hearts to come down the sides of my cabinets. And I got this little welcome sign. If you remember from my shopping haul, it doesn't spell welcome. They use 2 E's, but that's okay. We're just going to use the back of these. And there's an odd number. There's 7 of them, but I thought that'd be okay. We could do 4 hearts down one side, 3 hearts down the other side of my cabinet. I want some big, bright red hearts just to bring out the Valentine's Day. Now, when I pull the staples out of the back, it did kind of pull the wood out a little bit, so I kind of want them to be as flat as I can get. Because the other side has glitter and burlap and all kinds of stuff on it, so I definitely wanted to decorate the back, but so I just used my hammer to kind of smooth that out a little bit. You still can kind of see it, but we're going to decorate these, and so I think it'll be okay. So I wanted bright, bright red, so I thought this red Cricut vinyl from the Dollar Tree would be great. That way I could get that really bright red color without having to put like a million coats of paint on these. But you could totally paint them as well. The great thing about this is it's just like peel and stick. And I actually like DIYing with this stuff better than I like using it with my Cricut, because a lot of times this Cricut vinyl from the Dollar Tree, like the backing sticks to my mat, and I've had lots of trouble using it with my Cricut. I've had, it's like a 50-50. It's a gamble whenever I use it with my Cricut. But for DIY projects like this, it's perfect. So now I just have to cover all 7 of those hearts. So I can fit like about 3 in a row here. And then I'm just going to go in and cut these out. And you could use your Cricut to cut this out, but by the time you get that all set up, measurements and everything like that, you could have already had them all cut out. So I'm going to do another 3. That's going to bring us up to 7. And I love the fact that they're going to be bright red, but we're also going to decorate them a little bit as well. I'd like to take this moment to thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you coming back time and time again to watch my videos. And if you are new here, welcome to Crafty Beach. We would love to have you over here on our channel. We are trying to get to 12,000 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing and you're new, or if you're not new, we would appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm, helps more people to see my Crafty Beach videos. And be sure to comment your favorite DIY below when you're done watching the video, or just come say hello. I love reading all of your comments. Even if I don't get a chance to get back to you, I always try to heart your comments, and I definitely make sure that I go in and read every one. And you guys have fabulous ideas. I'm always learning from you guys. Now, the hearts that had burlap on them, I could kind of peel them off, but half of them only have paper on the back, so I couldn't really peel that off, but it doesn't really matter. They're all going to be on the back anyway. And as I'm putting that vinyl on there, you can still see the little bumps on there from where the staples were. So it's not perfect, but I think after we decorate them, we're going to be able to disguise that a little bit. I did a pretty good job of cutting them down to size, but if need be, you could always trim around the edges and clean up your heart shapes. So the first bling I thought we would add is some more of these little red heart stickers. They're not heart stickers, they're dot stickers. And kind of like the hearts that we just did on that Happy Valentine's Day sign, I thought we could just outline these hearts with these as well. It's going to provide texture and they're not just going to look like sticker hearts. I kind of want them to look a little bit more detailed and a little bit more fun. Now, if you had like a smaller size heart, you could put that on top of them. If you're going to do something like this as well, you could do two-tone. That would be really pretty. You could do one in white, one in blue, gold, any of the colors you're using for your Valentine DIYs. But I'm really loving the fact that we use like that minty green color. I think it really pops next to all this bright red for Valentine's Day. So we're just going around all of these. I found that one package of the little red dots did 6 hearts. Unfortunately, we have 7, but don't worry, I had a partial package of these that I was able to pull it out here at the end. But for a minute, I was thinking I was going to have to use 6. But I bought a lot of bling because I want to make some Valentine's Day trees. That probably won't be my next video, but maybe my second video from now. And so I got lots of bling. Now I do want to add something to the front of those because they're looking a little imperfect. And so I'm going to use some of these little wood love hearts from the Dollar Tree. And I'm picking out the ones that are like unfinished natural wood, which luckily I had 2 packs of them. And so I'm just going to open a second pack to get 2 more here. They have them in red, pink, or natural. I wanted natural because I want to go in and paint them gold to give it that bling that a lot of our DIYs have today. So I'm going to take 7 of the little love hearts. I love Crafty. Whenever this stuff comes out, like in the seasonal aisle, I'm always picking up all the little small wooden things like this because there's so many uses for these. They're so versatile. You can add them to just about anything. And just using that gold metallic paint that we got at Dollar General and a makeup sponge, we are going to go over and give these little love hearts some bling. And it did take about 2 coats to make them super shiny. And I think that's going to kind of disguise like the staple stuff we have going on those hearts and kind of give another little blingy detail for these hearts. I'm gonna, definitely strand like 4 on one side, 3 on the other. I kind of like the fact that they're gonna be a little off center, but I really wanted like hearts like flowing down both sides of my cabinet. I thought that would be really pretty. So this is what it's gonna look like with our little gold love hearts on there. And I'm just gonna attach those to them with hot glue. I'm just gonna kind of go along the top. I think that's gonna be enough to keep this all together. And glue that to the front. They're still not perfect. I mean, if you wanted them to be perfect, you could, sand and try to fill like the staple holes in there, or go in and do all that preparation if you were going to paint them. But we were kind of going for easy with these little hearts. And they definitely do give you a pop of color, and I think they have just enough bling. So finishing up number 6 and 7, I was trying to brainstorm what we could use to hang these because again, we're going for bling, right? And I actually found this ribbon. I don't know if you'd even call it ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and it's like the white pearl like mesh kind of. It's like 5 wide. Isn't that pretty? And I thought we could use that. It's going to add more bling to it. And it's going to serve a function to kind of act as the ribbon, like connecting the hearts together. The only problem is there's only 4 feet on the whole roll. And so I'm going to go ahead and use all 4 feet, but I'm kind of trying to measure it out to make sure I'm going to have enough. And I do kind of measure in between the hearts to make sure that I get them on there even too. So I'm just going to use hot glue on the back of my heart. Not wasting any of the length of that, so I just do that to the top. And then I'm just going to glue all the way up for our first little one. I'm working on a silicone mat, so it's really good when you're working with hot glue or something like this. It's not going to stick to it. It's going to be easy to clean up with all your hot glue that comes through. And I'm just going to glue that up here. I'm trying to get enough that I can do like 4 hearts on the second one. And so I'm just going to kind of cut it in half there. I use every inch of this. So pretty. And I only had one roll of that. So it's looking good. Now the other one, we're going to do 4 since we did 3 on that one. And I'm going to kind of space them the same. So I'm just going to kind of set them side by side, use one for the reference for the second one. Little cascading hearts. And I'm really glad I did this. I think it turned out really cute and fun. And this cabinet really came together well. So I have a total of 7 hearts. And there they all are. I love that ribbon. If I see any more of that pearl ribbon, I'm definitely going to pick that up because that is so pretty. And such a fun, surprising little detail there for ribbon. So I'm going to go hang these. I have little hooks on both sides to the top of my cabinet because I always like to hang like a pennant banner. And I just kind of strung this over the hook on the side of my cabinet. And this is how it looks hanging down both sides of my cabinet. I think it's really fun. It goes really well with the DIYs that we've done today. Okay, this DIY could not be easier. So I wanted to do like a pennant banner, you know, along the top. And I thought I would use this beautiful heart ribbon lace from the Dollar Tree. This really goes with my theme. And then I thought we could use just some of these. I got these images online and I will share a link. And I actually put 3 together in pages and printed them out all together. I'll see if I can share it like this. Because I only needed 3. My cabinet's not real wide. But I just made sure they were all 5 inches tall. That way they would all be about the same size, even though they're probably going to be different widths. And they're just these beautiful old vintage Valentines. And they're all different. And so I thought these would be really pretty to string up on that lace ribbon along the top of my cabinet using some of those little clothespins from the Dollar Tree as well. We're going to use the little rose ones. You could totally use any of them though. Like I think there's lips, there's other ones. And just attach it to it. So could not be any easier. Since this is lace ribbon, this goes over my hooks really well too. When I first strung this up like this, I just kind of clipped them all on just to kind of get them on there, kind of like spacing them out. But I do go back and kind of clip them on their corner so that they're hanging more diagonally when they're hanging at the top of my cabinet. And let me show you how that turned out. Aren't they cute? And I think these are the perfect like final touch to the cabinet. We still have another DIY, but my cabinet is finished and it's all beautiful. I can't wait to show you how it all looks together. But I wanted to do one more sign, and I'm going to use one of these beautiful love signs from the Dollar Tree. I love it. It's red with white glitter all over that says love. And then just a thrift sign. And I'm going to make a sign that's going to kind of coordinate with all of this beautiful decor to go in my dining area of my house. It's kind of my kitchen, kind of an eat-in kitchen area. And I think it's going to tie in really well with all the DIYs. So this is our 10th and final Valentine's DIY for you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know this is a long one, but YouTube seems to like it when I make long videos, when I do lots of projects. And so I decided to go with it. I had a total of 6 hours of footage it took me to put all these DIYs together. So this was definitely a multiple day project for me. But this is a chalkboard that I found at Goodwill, and I think it's a perfect size. It's got some kind of decorative corners, and I thought we could use that self-adhesive wall tile that we used before for that Valentine's Day sign to align this. I had one more piece of this, and then we have our scrap piece that we cut off the other sign from before. So I'm just going to decorate the back of this. It doesn't really matter. It looks like this was like maybe a sign somebody bought for their wedding or something like that. And I'm just going to kind of use a Sharpie to kind of draw the size, cutting off the perfect length, also cutting out the cute little corners. And we're going to cover it. I kind of wanted to tie in with that 10 look that we did before. It's going to kind of coordinate this sign with the sign that we made for our shelf. And then I really wanted to use that red and white love sign. It's really beautiful, and it really reminds me of the one they have at Kirkland's right now, but this one was only $1.25. So I'm scared to use hot glue at this point, so I switched it up to some just Dollar Tree glue all adhesive, and it worked. I mean, it's not as fast as hot glue, but if you're worried about melting the design at all, definitely use a different kind of glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that side down. Now with that scrap piece that we had from earlier, we should be able to finish it off and cover the entire front of this sign. Now the only thing about this is that there was a small part here where it was kind of bent. Their seam is kind of weird where it kind of tapers off and then starts back up when you put two of these together. But I did trim it down, but I only trimmed it down just because it was bent a little bit there. So I'm going to kind of line that up on there how it should be and kind of draw out with a Sharpie the exact shape I need to cut out. And we can patch the rest of that sign in. I was making sure I was cutting it the right way because this was my last piece of this stuff. I really like it though. I'm definitely going to be buying more of this. I used this on some of my large Christmas ornaments that I made for my window, and I just loved it. It's so pretty. I love the texture. I had to get more. Just trimming that up to a perfect size, and then we're going to glue this side down as well. Now I wanted to do this in the same kind of color scheme with like that mint green. We got the red and white sign I'm going to put on the front of it. And I just love how ornate all of these DIYs were today. You know, totally outside my comfort zone, totally different from anything I've DIY'd before. But I really hope you guys are enjoying these vintage Valentine's Day decorations. Sometimes with a holiday like Valentine's Day, it's really fun to go, you know, old school. And so that's what we're going with. I do poke 2 holes because I do want this to be a hanging sign. And I thought I would do that now before I start painting it. So we're going to mix our mint green color. Again, we use turquoise white and green. But if you can find the right shade, it's going to be another step saved. And then we're going to go in and paint this whole sign. I really loved how that other sign turned out with like the mint green with like the gold texture. And so I'm going to try to do the same thing with this sign. And I really love how this sign turned out. It's really nice and large. And I have like a really large wall hanging in my dining area. So I don't have a lot of room for more artwork, but I have a little bit of room, and I think this is going to fit in really well. My large wall hanging in my dining room is actually a shower curtain that I DIY'd into a giant canvas back before I was on YouTube. And I actually have a couple of those projects in my house. It's a really inexpensive way to get giant canvas art for your walls. And really not that hard to assemble. Okay, so we painted it green, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Getting our money's worth out of that bottle of gold metallic paint we got at Dollar General. Just dragging it, kind of working in one direction. Really trying to pick up any and all texture. Doesn't that make like a significant difference from just painting it one color? Totally loving it. And it's kind of hard to not go crazy and get a lot of it on the back, but you can always go in and touch it up. I was only putting paint on like half the sponge. Sometimes I would use the back of the sponge to try to clean it up a little as I went. But if you're careful, you can go over it with just a baby wipe, kind of clean it up a little bit. Just kind of like with distressing, you're just going to work with it until you're happy with it. Now I set the sign aside. I have no idea why it's so wet at the top. I must have set it next to my wet wipes or something it picked up the moisture from, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to decorate up there anyway, so I think we can kind of cover the damaged part there, but I have no idea what happened to it. Now, I thought that this heart would look really kind of vintage and fun if we use some of this pom-pom garland to decorate it. And it's also going to finish off this rough edge of the heart that was going to be visible before if we put that on the front of that 10 sign or faux 10 sign. So I just did a thin bead of hot glue along the edge of that heart sign. This is definitely my favorite Valentine's Day sign I found there. I was going to DIY this with like Cricut vinyl and put the word love all over it. My goodness, it would have taken me forever to weed it. But I saw a love sign, a heart sign like this at Kirkland's that was almost exactly the same as this print for way more than $1.25. So I'm just going to kind of work one section at a time, trying to do a thin bead of hot glue as I can. And I really love the texture it's adding to this sign, and it's definitely finishing off the edges and definitely giving that heart like that vintage vibe we're going with today. And I don't even mind all of the white glitter on the front of the sign because it kind of goes with the bling. So almost around to the bottom, we're just going to keep gluing until it's completely covered and then cut off the rest of that pom-pom garland. I love working with that stuff. They get it in all different colors at Dollar Tree, like red and green for Christmas, like red and pink and white for Valentine's Day. It's so cute. And kind of like spread that out a little bit. I don't want any of those pom-poms to get like glued under the heart, so I'm making sure they're all kind of sticking out at this point. And then I'm just going to use hot glue because, again, if it's melted like under the sign, I don't really care. But putting a good amount of hot glue on there because I want this to be secure and stay put when I'm hanging this on the wall. And as you can see, that sign was almost the perfect size. It does overlap it slightly, but that's okay. And that's got so much detail on the sides. I think that's going to be enough decor there. I did want to do something at the top. I was trying to decide between a bow or something for Valentine's Day. And what I decided to go with was the little felt roses from the Dollar Tree. I thought that would be really pretty. It's going to add, you know, some more fabric. It's perfect for Valentine's Day with the little roses. And they come in a package of 4, but I thought an odd number would work best. So we're just going to use 3. We're going to use like one of the larger ones and like 2 of the smaller ones in lieu of a bow. And it's going to, I'm kind of cover up all that water damaged area there on my sign. And I'm glad actually because I love how this part turned out. So just attaching all 3 of our little felt roses with hot glue. I love those roses. I always pick them up when I see them. And I think that is beautiful. Now I want to hang this sign on my wall. I didn't really want to use like a twine hanger like that was on there before. I kind of wanted something to go more with our color scheme. So I'm going to use some of this just red and white baker's twine and string that through kind of from the back. I like to use my little Cricut weeder to kind of act like a needle, kind of fish that through if I'm having difficulty getting string through a wire. I like to tie them off in the front. This twine's pretty tiny, and so I do tie it like 3 times to make a knot large enough because I don't want that coming through. And then we're going to do the same thing here on the other side. And I'm not going to add a bow or anything else to it. I think this definitely has enough detail, definitely enough bling. Now, don't go anywhere. I want to show you guys how all of these Valentine DIYs look together, kind of the completed set of how my dining area is going to look for Valentine's Day. And I am loving this one. I think it turned out so cute. I really love like the aqua and red combination for Valentine's Day. I think it's really classic, and just the texture of that background tile just really makes this sign pop, I think. I think this might be one of my favorite ones. Absolutely love it. Now, the next set of Valentine's Day DIYs, couple extra Valentine DIYs that I had that I thought I would include in this video, but I also wanted to remind you about memberships here on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you can get early ad-free access to my videos. Okay, let's continue DIYing. I'm using these little grapevine hearts from the Dollar Tree. You get 5 in a package, which is a great deal. And I'm going to make a super easy Valentine's Day pennant banner. And then for the other side of the cabinet, I thought I would hang those little hugs and XOXO wood beads, also from the Dollar Tree. Just stringing them together, it's going to make a cute little thing to hang down like the other side of my cabinet. So I don't have to do anything to those. They're perfect. So I just took a piece of twine that's the length of my cabinet, and then I'm going to use some of this Dollar Tree twine to tie off each piece of our grapevine hearts. That way I can then tie those to the twine that I'm going to use to make it where I can kind of move it back and forth if I need to, and it's going to kind of dangle down. And I really think it looks cute hanging with like the heart like leaning to the side like that. I'm going to do them all like that. Just all leaning the same way, kind of working in the same direction. Just double tying the twine off and cutting that off. Whenever I do like a pennant banner, I always like to work like in odd numbers. And so that's what I'm doing here. Gonna do 5. Sometimes I do 3. And this is how it turned out. This is how it looks hanging at the top of my cabinet. And then I just strung those little wood beads along the side as well. And remember, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. One of these little foam hearts from the Dollar Tree. They have these every year. And I just kind of want to finish the back a little bit because it has like that rough styrofoam texture. And so I'm just going to paint it with a little ivory acrylic, just to make it look more finished. If you were to look at the back of it or pick it up and look at it, I always like to finish the back of my things if I can. So easy peasy. Now on the other side of the foam heart, I thought it'd be really fun to cover it with roses. And I found these great felt flowers at the Dollar Tree. I'm trying to remember how many packages I used. We'll have to count. I see 6 packages there, but I can't remember if I used all of them. Probably. And they have like different size roses on there. So I'm just going to attach them with hot glue, but you kind of have to stagger them as well to kind of make them all fit together. The small ones fit in nicely for all the little nooks and crannies that the big ones had. So I just kind of play with it. It's kind of a little bit like a puzzle, a little rose puzzle. But I'm just using hot glue, and I know that that does like melt the foam a little bit, but we're going to act quick, so it's not that big of a deal. If you're worried about that, you could always cover like the styrofoam first with like masking tape. I do that sometimes. It gives you a surface. And as you can see, I just did a stripe right down the middle. And now I'm like going side to side and doing another stripe. And I'm alternating sizes, so small and little. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to go ahead and use all 6 packages of these. So if you're going to do this project, be sure to pick up plenty. I just picked up some more of these today because I just used them on my Valentine's Day coffee bar, and I'm like, ooh, I might want some more. They're so pretty. I love the felt. I think it's very soft. It almost kind of makes this look like a pillow once we get it done because it's so soft and fuzzy. And so I'm just going side to side, trying to fill it all in. I want it to look like, you know, the original heart shape. And I don't really want you to be able to see any of the styrofoam on the back. And so when I got to the end, I kind of had like a few like odd shape flowers. So I was just trying to make it work because I didn't have any more. So just filling in those last few pieces. Battery battery dead. A lot of you guys have been asking me if that Ryobi glue gun is good, and I do love it. The only thing I don't like about it is it does suck the batteries dry, but then again, I may have wore out my batteries. I do have generic batteries that I got on Amazon that work well, and I'm just rearranging the last couple ones to kind of make it look perfect for me. The only thing I don't like about it besides the battery issue is that it does spit out a lot of hot glue. So if you're doing any kind of like fine detail hot glue work, it's definitely gonna give you too much. But this is how it turned out. Our little felt rose heart. I think it's really classic. I made this a couple of years ago here on my channel and I use it every year. It kind of goes with everything. Okay, you've made it to the final reveal. I hope you enjoyed these $12 tree DIYs today. Be sure to leave your favorite in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe. All right, enjoy. Thanks for watching.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. Promise you won't leave my side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love. Tell me what you wanna do, I'll do anything. As long as I can be here with you, everything's alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love, love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love.
Thank you so much for watching today's video all the way to the end. That always helps. And I also wanted to give a special thank you and shout out to my Crafty Beach Bum members. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. To Coastal Couple, Karen O'Haron, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Carrie R., Tracy Knight, Verna Noctigal, Nancy Wunner, Julie Miller, Tammy Coates, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Whitney Harrison, Maria Grace, Donna Schreiner, Tina Kane, and Heather Hart. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. And if you'd like to become a member and you'd be able to watch my videos early, ad-free, then you can just join by clicking the join button underneath this video. It's $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, and it's just a quick, easy way for you to support me here on YouTube. Now, if you'd like more crafting inspiration, YouTube thinks that you might enjoy this video right here. Happy crafting and happy Valentine's.